New details tonight on a school stabbing in Clearwater.
The suspect in this case is also a juvenile male in 9th grade.
2 students stabbed inside Countryside High, and tonight investigators are trying to figure out why.
But first, the focus is on cleanup and recovery this evening.
I'm seeing a lot of damage, and I'm also seeing a lot of resiliency.
We're getting new images and insight on Hurricane Idalia's aftermath.
High tide, high surge, flooded.
It came in fast. We came out here this morning and we watched the highway get taken over in 30 minutes.
From cleanup efforts to closures and even how to navigate your insurance after the storm. Tonight, we have team coverage. From the Florida Keys to the Panhandle this evening, people living all along Florida's Gulf Coast are reeling in Idalia's aftermath.
And here in the Bay Area, coastal neighborhoods are cleaning up the mess left behind after storm surge flooded many areas. This is 10 Tampa Bay at 6. I'm Carolina Lead.
And I'm Dave Wagner. Thanks for being with us this evening. As we speak, Idalia is now a tropical storm in the Atlantic Ocean. It made landfall as a powerful Category 3 hurricane near Keaton Beach in Florida's Big Bend early yesterday morning.
Trees came crashing into homes. Many areas lost power and entire neighborhoods flooded. So today, cleanup begins. We have team coverage tonight. We'll show you what people are now doing to recover, how you can navigate your insurance, and show you where the tropical storm is now.
We begin in Citrus County, where this time yesterday, half of Crystal River was underwater.
Today, the water has receded, but what's been left behind could take months, if not years, to recover from. 10 Tampa Bay's Eric Glasser is in Crystal River with the latest.
Well, 24 hours ago, this entire section of US 19 was underwater. Now the recovery and cleanup effort begins here in Citrus County. In fact, thousands of people have spent the day here tearing out carpet and drywall, furniture, clothing, and more. We saw one house in Crystal River not just flooded, but burned after catching fire. Some say right after the power came back on. Businesses also trying to clean up and reopen as quickly as possible. Senator Rick Scott was also here today surveying the damage. He announced that FEMA would be providing individual assistance here in the coming days.
You know, you come home, everyone's safe, and then you get to see all your belongings, and that's what's soaked. If you didn't pick it up, there's no saving it at all.
This is my first experience. I've been in Florida all my life, and I can't count how many storms I've been through. This is the very first storm that I've actually had to deal with, this type of damage.
It's terrifying, honestly. It's very sad to go around the neighborhoods and just see all the damage done.
Even Crystal River City Hall wasn't immune. We were there today when sandbags were removed, the doors opened to reveal that even they had gotten about 6 inches of water inside. Also, an announcement today from Citrus County schools, which had been closed the past few days so that those facilities could be used for shelters. Schools will be open again tomorrow for classes. In Crystal River, Eric Glasser, 10 Tampa Bay.
Farther south in Pinellas County, Sky 10 got a view of cleanup efforts on some of our local beaches. You can see water and sand from many of them washed onto roads. The city of Indian Rocks Beach says it experienced heavy erosion and is closing more than a dozen access points as they work to repair the beach. And right now, the city of Treasure Island is asking people to stay away from Sunset Beach. They have closed all parking lots and say people are being turned away from that area. All of those beaches were under mandatory evacuations. But just a few hours ago, the Pinellas County Sheriff shared his frustration because some people didn't evacuate.
We ended up with a lot of rescues yesterday throughout the county, a lot of 911 calls. And it's in those areas where people didn't heed the warning to leave. One of the things we had to do, realizing that people didn't leave, we had to stage 7 high water response teams throughout Pinellas. And it was fire, EMS, and we actually, and thankful to the governor for doing it and for providing it, we had a significant National Guard response.
Across the bay in Tampa, this is what it looked like on popular Bayshore Boulevard yesterday. You can see the street was flooded for hours before that water receded. It's a much different story today. Now take a look. This is what downtown Tampa looks like right now. Peaceful. You can see as we have this bird's eye view of that area.
What a difference a day makes there. And farther south in Manatee County, beaches and barrier islands are back open. And with water now down, people on Anna Maria Island were out cleaning up debris and restaurant workers were gearing up to reopen. Despite locals saying it's the most flooding they've seen in a long time, they are thankful the damage wasn't worse.
We lucked out once again. I stay every time because, unless it's a direct hit, Cat 5, we stay and take care of our dogs and post videos and drive the island and just kind of support everybody.
Manatee County will have trucks on the island supporting everyone through the weekend, sweeping large debris and cleaning up to prevent further drainage issues.
Navigating your insurance after a storm can be a long and confusing process. So 10 investigates. Emerald Morrow joins us now with some quick tips to help you out.
Hurricane Idalia did not play around when it came to storm surge, and now many of you are dealing with flooded homes and cars, and trying to deal with insurance can be confusing and stressful. So let us help you relieve some of that stress with a few tips as you try to recover. First up, don't waste any time. You need to file those claims ASAP. You'll want to take pictures of the damage and give as many details as possible, but make sure you do that when it is safe, since flooding can be quite dangerous. Second, figure out how your insurance company wants you to handle repairs. You might be able to fix a few small things here and there, but you will want to make sure it will not impact your claim. And of course, make sure you keep all of those receipts, take clear pictures of them, or scan them in on an app for digital storage. If you need to relocate temporarily, your insurance may cover that as well, but experts say check your policy first.
If you've suffered flood damage, your home is uninhabitable, if you have a national flood insurance program policy, it will not cover you for the temporary living. However, many private flood insurance policies do include additional living expenses or loss of use.
So as you're working through those claims for this storm, it is a good reminder to review your coverages so you are ready for whatever comes next. Emerald Morrow, 10 Investigates.
We've heard from some of you who need help or want to help those trying to rebuild from Idalia. So pick up your phone and scan the QR code on your screen right there. It will send you to a link of reputable charities that you can reach out to or donate to. You can also find this information ready for you right now on our 10.
Also developing right now, investigators are trying to figure out what led up to a scary situation inside Countryside High School in Clearwater. They say a 9th grader stabbed 2 other students, sent them to the hospital. And 10 Tampa Bay's Malik Rankin has been on the scene there all afternoon long. Joins us as this investigation continues at this hour.
The suspect in this stabbing was held at gunpoint by SROs within minutes. That's according to the Clearwater police chief. He tells us this campus was on lockdown for hours because parts of the school are now a crime scene that investigators need to process. The suspect is now in police custody. Law enforcement tell us he's a 9th grader with no disciplinary history. Police don't know his motive and are spending this evening interviewing him and other witnesses. The 2 students hurt were 9th and 11th grade boys. The chief says the students' parents were notified immediately.
Our school resource officers reported that they had 2 victims stabbed this morning at 11:24 a.m. In less than 2 minutes, a second report came out that the SROs had the suspect at gunpoint and were taking him into custody.
The students hurt were treated here at the school, then transported to a nearby hospital. The weapon used, a knife, is in police custody. The student responsible for stabbing 2 others is now expelled. The police chief tells us they're now working to determine if he'll face charges. In Clearwater, Malik Rankin, 10 Tampa Bay.
And the school tells us classes will resume as normal tomorrow. Mental health resources will be made available to students and staff.
Dramatic new video shows the moment firefighters responded to a massive house fire in Shore Acres this afternoon. You can see the 2-story house went up in flames. Smoke could be seen for miles. This is on Shore Acres Boulevard Northeast between Overlook Drive and Arizona Avenue. Luckily, no one was at the home at the time, but it's still not clear what caused this. Our coverage of Idalia's aftermath continues.
In just 3 minutes, we're going to take you live to Clearwater Beach, where it looks a little bit different right now.
Plus, we'll have the latest on power outages, and we get a behind-the-scenes look at what crews are out doing right now to turn the lights back on in some areas.
And crazy video. Look at what is left of this Tesla after it ignited in Pinellas Park today. So what does this have to do with Hurricane Idalia? Next, I'll verify why electric cars in flooded waters can be such a dangerous combination.
And we still have ample moisture overhead. That's allowing for these additional showers and storms to continue to brush across the region. We could see more tomorrow, but I have some nice changes just in time for your Labor Day holiday.
And are you ready for the weekend? For some football, we hear how the Gators are feeling before tonight's game against Utah. Plus, we're going to tell you about the special guests at Bucs practice today as the team prepares for Minnesota next week. Back here on 10 Tampa Bay, you're taking a live look right now at Clearwater Beach. Looks pretty good out there right now. The storm pushed a lot of sand onto nearby streets. If you need to drive through that area, police are warning you to watch out for debris.
And check this out. This is what linemen are dealing with right now. Lots of trees on power lines. Florida Power and Light shared this video with us. This is what's still causing some of the outages. As for outages, right now Florida Power and Light is reporting about 12,000 customers without power across the state. Duke is reporting about 300 customers without power in our immediate area, and then TECO is reporting just over 100.
Take a look at this right here. This is why state and local officials are warning you not to drive electric vehicles impacted by storm surge and to park it away from your home. And this is what's left of an electric car that ignited as is being towed in Pinellas Park today.
Fire crews said it was parked in a lot that was flooded during Hurricane Idalia. 10 Tampa Bay anchor Josh Adores verifies what makes EVs and saltwater such a dangerous combination.
These electric vehicles, when they get saltwater intrusion, can catch on fire, and those are very difficult fires to put out.
That was Governor DeSantis' warning just days ago ahead of Hurricane Idalia, and several local agencies have issued similar warnings here like this one. So let's verify what makes electric vehicles so vulnerable to not just flood water, but salt water. Here are our sources, including FEMA, the U.S. Fire Administration, and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. According to NHTSA, residual salt within an EV's lithium-ion battery or battery components can form conductive bridges that can lead to short circuit and self-heating of the battery, causing a fire. But when a damaged lithium-ion battery can ignite, that varies widely. After Hurricane Ian last year, there were at least a dozen reports of EVs that had been submerged or partially submerged in salt water, igniting weeks after the fact. And considering Florida now has the second most registered EVs in the country, it is becoming a growing concern for first responders because these fires, they also burn a lot hotter. Traditional car fires burn around 1,500 degrees, where an electric vehicle battery fire can burn close to 5,000 degrees. With your Verify, I'm Josh Sidorowicz.
All right, Josh, that's really good information there. If you see something you'd like us to verify, you can email your questions to us, verify@10tampabay.com, or you can text us, 727-577-8522.
Meteorologist Natalie Ferrari with us now. I'm wondering what the weather's going to look like for the next few days, considering there are people who are cleaning up.
100%. You're basically right now kind of taking advantage of those little breaks in the rain that we are seeing moving through. I think tomorrow will be similar. Major improvement for the weekend plans. We will still see some areas of rain, but I think you're going to be able to get out and about and enjoy what's going to be a long weekend for a lot of folks out there. I wanted to get to the latest on where Idalia is positioned. It has officially moved back out into the Atlantic, and as a 5 o'clock update, is officially post-tropical. So it's still an area of low pressure, but has lost a lot of its tropical characteristics. Check this out, though. That won't be for long. As we get closer to the weekend, this will continue to drift off towards the east, towards Bermuda, as a tropical storm. So it's likely going to try to re-strengthen and regain some of those tropical characteristics before weakening once again back into the mid-Atlantic. We're done with that system here locally. If anything, we still have this really consistent onshore flow that's been really bumping up those rain chances, mostly cloudy skies. And when you're not dealing with those clouds, you get a little bit of those peaks of sunshine back out towards the coast. But we do still have a lot of moisture in the Gulf of Mexico that we're working with. So we're not going to completely shut down those rain chances through tonight. We'll see a bit of a lull. We'll see a good amount of breaks in there, but some isolated rain could still move onshore later tonight. Right now, everything is kind of positioned just to the east of I-75 from Zephyr Hills down into Bartow. We've seen some really good downpours. This one just north of Plant City. Take a look at this live view of it from our Mid-Florida Credit Union weather camera facing out towards the west. You got mostly quiet conditions out to the south. To the north, where we're looking out towards Plant City, that's where we see that heavy downpour. In Lakeland, we've had a few of those rain-cooled showers moving through, so that's been helping to bump down those temperatures just for a brief moment from the 80s into the 70s right now in much of Polk County. 88 in Clearwater, Tampa Tampa, you're coming in at a steamy 89 down through, 88 right through St. Pete at this hour. Here are those onshore flow, that wind getting breezy from time to time, but it will dwindle down as we go through the overnight hours. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, but as mentioned, really around midnight, maybe 1 a.m., we can't rule out a few of those spotty showers trying to push on along the coast, and that's all thanks to all this ample moisture we have overhead. It won't be very widespread. It's going to be pretty isolated. Some of those downpours you may hear overnight through even early tomorrow morning. So just keep that in mind for your early morning commute. We could see a few of those downpours pulling through. But then check this out. As we go through Friday afternoon, we'll see some of those showers and storms kind of start to bubble up. And that actually may fizzle out by late Friday night going into Saturday. Saturday, we do still have a few rain chances, but a backdoor cool front's going to come through. It's really going to be just bring some drier air that cuts out those rain chances just in time for your Labor Day holiday, but it doesn't cool us down at all. We keep those temperatures on the high side in those 90s. Don't forget, you can always catch our forecast on the radio. Our radio partners, The Dove 105.5, The Eagle 107.3, WSRQ 106.9 in Sarasota, and Magic 94.9.
Now, sponsored by Advent Health. This is 10 Sports.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers only have one practice this week, and a load of Lightning players did not want to miss it. Won't be long before both teams are simultaneously going about their seasons, but we got another few weeks until the Bolts get to work. So let's focus on Todd Bowles' boys. Because of Hurricane Idalia, the Bucs met for the first time today after the 53-man roster was announced, and they went from one of the oldest teams in the league in 2022 to one of the youngest in 2023. Out of the 53 men making the cut, 13 are rookies and 6 were undrafted free agents. In the post-Tom Brady era, Jason Light and company needed to find gems in the smallest of crevices to make an impact on this team, and they believe they have done just that.
There's kind of an excitement to it. That's what we get paid to do. That's what, that's how we earned our bones early, like trying to kick the weeds and find guys. So it was a lot of fun for all of them.
Here are the 6 undrafted free agents you'll want to know. Christian Izien at safety is the only starter of the bunch. We'll have more on Marquise Watt's story tonight on 10 Tampa Bay at 11. He's taken good care of Shaquille Barrett's old number for good reason. As for life in the collegiate ranks, forget about week 0. The beginning of the season really begins tonight, and the marquee matchup features Florida at 14th ranked Utah. This game marks the first time in 32 years the Gators have left the state of Florida to play a true non-con road contest. Utah is without its starting quarterback. The Gators have Wisconsin transfer Graham Mertz under center. It's a great litmus test to see where Billy Napier's group is at entering year 2.
We'll see where we're at. I think the competition oftentimes uncovers if you've been working hard to build a healthy team and a healthy team dynamic, then those things get uncovered in competition.
Florida isn't the only team going tonight. UCF kicks off action against Kent State at the top of the hour. USF plays Western Kentucky on Saturday. Florida State takes on LSU in Orlando Sunday. Also, Miami Not Pictured plays tomorrow night. We'll be right back.
Cleanup continues across our area. Hillsborough County's Pet Resource Center is making space for animals displaced by the hurricane. This morning, a nonprofit called Wings of Rescue flew 32 cats from the shelter in Hillsborough to a shelter in Pennsylvania, where they will be put up for adoption.
Boy, it has been a traumatic week for pets and people around here, and hopefully a little calmer after the cleanup ends, I guess.
Yeah, we're getting there.
All right.
Thank you so much for watching us here at 6 o'clock. The CBS Evening News is up next.
We're back at 11 o'clock. Have a great evening.